Hello and welcome to Hold and Modify, YouTube's most poorly produced, underproduced Amiga channel. And yes, finally on this channel, even though everyone else has already done this, I'm sure you're all interested in my personal take. No! Purchased this myself, yes, no one sent it to me, no discounts, nothing like that. The A600GS from Amiga Kit, however we're supposed to pronounce that and what part of the world you're from. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this thing and figure out who exactly is this for, because we do have many options for this type of thing. For those of us that are unfortunate and can't experience the joys of actual Amiga hardware, we do need solutions, and there are solutions out there. And this is one of those solutions. So let's take a look.
This computer will rule the world.
Well now, what do we have here? It comes in a fancy box. And it includes a gamepad. That's pretty nice. Have some familiar looking ports here. DB9 ports, game 1 and 2. You notice it does say game. It doesn't say like mouse and game or keyboard and mouse. And then back here is where you will plug in your, I'm assuming, mouse and keyboard. There's Ethernet, which is built in. We've got our HDMI out, which is tiny mini micro. Is that what that's called? Micro? So I'm going to need to dig out my Raspberry Pi adapter thing I use, and then it looks like audio, or what is that, audio power? Probably should figure these things out, huh? Well, that symbol has a lightning bolt on it, so I'm assuming that's power. Yeah, so it comes with clicky click button, which, you know, hey, that's cool. A lot of these don't do that. Now, I don't really have a convenient power strip or USB module handy, and I just use this. This is my lithium, one of my lithium battery generator thingies I use in a time of need. I'll just go ahead and plug this into that. That way we can have a convenient power, and that will go back here. And of course, yeah, we'll need to get the adapter for that. I'm going to use our trusty PAR monitor that I showed in my last video, the Samsung. It has many inputs. I had already run an HDMI cable for it, but yes, that's not going to work, unfortunately. So I said in the intro to this video, there's lots of these kind of products, right? You've got the Mini MIG and the Amiga, which is completely free. It's software based, and you can copy it to almost any ARM or Intel Mac, PC, whatever today, and just run it and have Amiga. Of course, there's Amaberry, sort of what Amiga is based on. That's free. There's WinUAE, FSUE, and there are, of course, a number of Pi solutions that are out there you can buy on eBay, pre-done. What I will give credit to, though, is that this does come in a case, and this isn't just, you know, a 3D printed case. I'm not going to knock 3D printing. 3D printing is one of the most revolutionary things that has happened since probably the telephone. But this is a professional kit case, nice and buttoned and sealed up and labeled, and pretty, and it's solid. It's got a nice solid feel to it. And that's always welcome. Hey, including a SNES style gamepad is always cool. It's USB. I'm sure it'll work on Windows and Mac just as well. It does come with a manual, which gives you some fun stuff, but yeah, who is this for? I mean, it's a couple bucks to buy this. It really is. I mean, I don't want to use that term. It's a turnkey Amiga that you can buy off the shelf, because we have to use that term Amiga in quotes, because it's not Workbench, and it's not Amiga Kickstart. It's its own thing. It's based on Aros, Aros, how people want to pronounce that, and it's developed off of that, and then writing their own Amiga Kit Workbench type replacement on top of that. It's for those that want to experience Amiga-like stuff today with something you can buy when things like this are not plentiful or horrifically expensive and you just don't have access to it. Or you don't want to deal with software emulation where you have to configure FSUE or WinUAE or deal with Amaberry, or maybe you're the kind of person that you don't really have computers or even laptops or tablets. You have your phone and that's it. And you've got a TV in the room somewhere you might use now and then. So you can go to your local store or thrift store and just buy a cheap crap keyboard and mouse, plug it into this box, and say like, hey, I've got an Amiga experience. So that's enough of my countering the comments that may come from me making this video. Like, who is this for? I mean, obviously it's for a certain market. A lot of us who watch my channel probably aren't in the market for this, but I don't know. I do a lot of emulation videos on here because I'm a fan of emulation. But I just do the software emulation on, a conventional Mac or PC. Still, I always like turnkey solutions like this, in-a-box solution. You can just buy it and it works. You plug it in and it works. Very similar to the Apollo V4 standalone product, which is a arguably much faster product than this. I mean, it says it right there, A600. It's effectively emulating the speed and operation of a, a standard ECS Amiga 600 from what I've read. I have not actually used this. I've never even powered it on before or seen one until now. So enough yammering. Let me get this plugged in and see what happens when we turn it on. All right, so after some time, we do have this plugged in. I'll go ahead and smash the old power button. And this is reading voltage things happening. Let's make sure we put it on an input that works. There it goes. Yay, look at that, we got a boot. A boot, boot, boot. And I am using the mouse here, and I do have a keyboard. And the keyboard is doing its LED thing, so everyone seems to be getting the power. Whoa. You guys hear that? It has music. Oh, little wizard here. Okay, English, standard keyboard. Yep, sounds good. So this does, it has that Ethernet port on it, but it also has Bluetooth and wireless. Go ahead and click next. Bunch of stuff on here. Oh, okay. So if you want to do wireless, you could do that now. Let's see what happens. Oh boy, I got to fill out a bunch of stuff. I'll be right back. All right, so I got through the little Wi-Fi wizard there. I'm noticing a little bit of scaling on the HDMI here. This could be a PAL thing. I believe this device is most likely PAL. Or it could just be a scaling issue of this Samsung TV. I know it does have options for scaling in 16:9 versus 4:3. But yeah, as you can see here, using the mouse with a gamepad, you can pick on some things. It looks like we've got these fun little floppy disks that will take you into the world. And there's a configuration button that I didn't even need to click. I just hovered right over, and it brings up a whole bunch of stuff. This is neat. This is like for those people that want to use like a deep dive, for example, like here's display. Kind of let you know what's going on here with the display. This is getting you more into emulation settings, though. Like, I know if the audience for this, again, is maybe somebody who doesn't want to deal with emulation settings, but yes, you can do that. So right here it says display correct aspect ratio. Display stretches to fill screen. Let's check that. And that seems to change some things. I mean, everything's working, so I tend to not want to mess with things. I go to network, and it shows that I am connected, so that's cool. Manage ROM files, games and applications, which should take us back to this screen. So yeah, there's definitely a whole, you can basically dive into the, I believe this is an Amaberry backend, so you can dive into the emulation backend if you want to. And you may want to because obviously you're going to want to install more software, or add more fun things, more titles to play, right? So if we click on, let's say, something as amazing as Final Writer, ooh, it makes a little floppy sound. Go down here, and there's a button that says Start. So we'll click Start. That looks familiar, doesn't it? So yeah, this would be the AROS ROM replacement for Amiga. And then we're booting into the AmiKit version of Workbench. And yeah, that sure looks like Final Writer to me. And an extremely high resolution, actually, yes. Wow. Again, thanks to issues with my scaling on the monitor here, we are a little off screen, but I wanted to check to see what resolution it's running at. It's hard to see here. Yeah, 1920 by 1080. That's what it's doing. Okay. So you know what this reminds me of? And those of you, you're probably going to think the Amiga 500 Mini, right? Which the Amiga 500 Mini is another Pi product type deal running emulation software. That's what this is. It's put out by, a much smaller company, and Virtual Grand Prix. Let's try that. I don't really play games on here, but why not? There it is. And for this, I may need to actually hold a gamepad, right? Oh, did you hear that? It talked. So I've got the gamepad plugged in to a port that I think might work, but so far I don't see anything happening. I'm using the mouse. I'm clicking with the mouse.
Choose track.
Oh, I recognize some of these. Monaco, no way. Let's do Monza.
Session.
Let's do a free practice because who knows what's going to happen. So yeah, the gamepad is not doing anything. So either I plugged into the wrong port, or this game wants a mouse because maybe steering wheel. I don't know. Oh boy. Once again, let's try the gamepad. Oh, that's interesting. That does something. I pushed up on the gamepad. Oh, shit. Well, okay. So I'm pushing. I'm driving like signs.
There's contact!
Let's try and flip her around. Does the mouse work for this? So now the mouse doesn't work. Now it is the gamepad. Can you tell I've never played these games? I don't play a lot of games on the Amiga. I think this is its way of telling me I'm going the wrong way. So it's best to just press up on the D-pad and then only tap left and right to steer. Don't try and do both at the same time. So I'm pressing the fire button to shift, and I think it's trying to figure out what gear I want. Oh, I'm trying to get to reverse. Is there a way to get to reverse? Okay, good. I want to go forward. Please give me a forward gear, I beg of you. After all this effort I made to find reverse. Oh gosh. Yeah, well that's great. Let's go ahead and let's just say quit. And we come back here. So to quit, I just hit the start button on the gamepad, and that brought me back to there. All right, so yeah, there's lots of software that it comes with to give you kind of a dabble into the land of Amiga. It feels a little clunky to someone like me, obviously not having spent a lot of time with it, but I am giving you my truly first-hand experience out of the box with something I'm only mildly familiar with. Like, I know what an Amiga is, of course, and most people would who bought this, but I did want to show you what it was like actually opening up and using it with having no idea what to expect. Other than a couple videos I have watched on YouTube where people have clicked on stuff. I think I saw someone play this Thunder Hell game. Got some music going on. Okay, so yeah, the D-pad's doing D-pad things. See, I'm actually using the D-pad in a way that nobody playing video games has ever done in their entire life. Filming with the left hand and trying to use the D-pad with the right hand. And I'm left-handed, so this is just a great example. But yeah, this is a funky little game. This looks cool, actually. This looks neat. Who is this for? That's what I keep going back to. It's obviously not for me, because if it was, I'd be far more excited about it and giving you a much higher quality behind-the-scenes video of this, which there are plenty of. This product, like a lot of the all-in-one box, everything comes in a box, Amiga-type products, like the A500 Mini, the Commodore 64 Mini. These attract a lot of attention on YouTube, and you get a lot of folks that do really, I would say, proper reviews. I just wanted to try it out. It's one of those things that I had never seen firsthand. I want to help contribute to anything Amiga. That's why I bought it. It was one of those things where you've got a small company, a small group of people trying to put stuff out for Amiga fans, and that's why I picked one up. I don't regret this. I know this is not a very enthusiastic video, and I'm not downplaying the product. I think it is neat. It's just, I look at this as a way of like, I don't need this because I've got all my emulation software I use, and I have that tweaked exactly how I like it. Putting this down on your TV set, in your game room, or in your dorm room, or in your bedroom, and just having the gamepad and playing around with this stuff, maybe loading it up with more of the games and software you like. Sure, it's an experience, you can do it. It's pricey, but then again, so are real Amigas. Look at these things, these are crazy. These cost a ridiculous amount of money nowadays. I'm very happy and glad that I got into most of these before the craziness started, right? So that's gonna start a fire down there. That's awful. And is that a dead bug? Is that really a dead bug down there? That is a dead bug. I guess I'm done with this video because I don't know what else to do. I mean, I could show you their version of Workbench. How do you even get into it? Right there, Amy Bench. I keep calling it Amy Kit, and it's called Amy Bench, you dork. It's right there. Oh, Q. Spend more than 5 seconds looking at something, and you might actually get it right. Okay, so here we go with Amy Bench. Now, yeah, this looks very familiar. System V46 is what's installed here. Kept calling it Amiga Kit Bench or Amiga Bench. It's Amy Bench, Amiga Bench, however you want to say it. So there we go. Yeah, version 46.1 is what was currently installed on this. And sure enough, got some familiar stuff down here. Directory Opus or Dopus, Final Writer. So the programs that you saw in the landing screen are, yes, they're all available here. And this looks very familiar. If any of you are out there that are fans of Directory Opus, you know I am. Yes, this seems to be Directory Opus. And yeah, it looks very familiar as it should. That's what it's supposed to be. It's a written from the ground up, heavily inspired by Amiga Workbench type environment. Now, does this include any mod files to play with? Or is it just, yeah, I notice they give you Hippo Player, they give you Eagle Player, and they give you Octamed, but I don't know if I see any, yeah, I don't see any kind of folder. Let's fire up Octamed and see if it comes with a demo that runs. Yeah, it sounds like an Amiga mod. You know, this is a legal-ish, no, I guess it's a straight up, this is a legal way to do this. Everything on here is legit and licensed, and it's not, because it's not Workbench, it's not Kickstart, that type of thing, and this software, these are software licenses you can buy today yourself and paid for, or they're royalty or license free that you can use them. It's technically a product that you can put on the shelf at a Walmart and buy. As far as I understand it could be sitting next to the Amiga 500 Mini or Commodore 64 Mini, and you could sell it alongside it. I wonder if I change the screen mode while I'm in here, if it will do it or if it's going to do something crazy. I think because all these gadgets and widgets and these docks are open, it's not going to work. I'd have to like quit these docks and programs to get this to actually. Intuition's just freaking out. It doesn't like having stuff running when you're trying to change resolution. You've seen what this is. It's neat. It's a fun little in-the-box solution put together. You don't need to crack it open because it's going to be a Pi in there, that type of thing. Or, I mean, it could be an FPGA. Is it? I don't know. Someone leave a comment that says, Q, this is what it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to use the amazing included power button here to turn it off. Hey, look at that. All right, for real, I'm done with this video.